Uh, Good evening, participants.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah,
Good evening,
now
sir.
you are aware that we have already done so many lectures we have covered on sustainable procurement. Now, what are we going to do is we are trying to discuss about sustainable public procurement applications. I mean, how applications are happening now. We know. Now, say for example, I'm just giving you a very simple example. When we are talking about the energy saving or environmental sustainability, we talk about LED bulbs. So that is a application. Not only that, there are so many applications in so many areas. Now we are trying to explain or to understand what are those areas and how the applications will be applied for those areas. I mean, most of these things application, when we are talking about applications, there's nothing to call about much of theory. Theory part, of course, we have studied earlier, previous lectures. Now, applications, in how these applications are made in how we are going to do that, how countries are apply these applications. That is the basic introduction. Now, I will go to this application of sustainable public procurement, SPP. Sustainable public procurement, SPP applications refer to the practical ways sustainability principles are integrated into public procurement process. How are we going to integrate public procurement process? These applications, that's why it says applications refer to the practical ways sustainability principles are integrated into public procurement process. These applications are designed to achieve economic, as you know, every year we were discussing. These main three areas are economic, environmental, and social. So all three areas you get applications, right? That's what it says. So SPP applications demonstrate the versatility and impact of sustainability principles across sectors. How are we going to make it across sectors? Different sectors. Maybe it's transport sector, maybe health sector, maybe school sector, like that. Okay. Now we will see first sector. What is it? Major applications of SPP. Why I said major is there are so many applications in so many areas. We can't, we can't study all these things within 2 hours. But when you get the knowledge, the basic knowledge, what is these applications? How are the other countries going to implement these applications? That type of idea, when you get it, you can go through any book or any internet or whatever it is. References are there. You can find out. So I will explain the major areas. These major areas also, other than my explanation, other than the explanation I have made it here, when you go through that, when you read, you can get it so many areas and applications. Now we are going to take the first one, energy and utilities. How are we going to apply applications in this area? Energy and utility area. That is very important. I have given the picture also here. Wilmin, right? So that is one of the area that we are just mentioning here. commonly reduce energy consumption and promote renewable energy. That is the basic theory. Used in applications in energy and utilities. Why we are going to do that? Commonly reduce energy consumption and promote renewable energy. You know all these things, right? I don't want to explain you because I have gone through these last few days. We have gone through lectures. Now you are aware. If you have come for these lessons. Now what? Now we can see what are the applications, right? Now we'll see what are the applications, how to reduce energy consumption and renewable energy. What are the applications? Energy efficient equipment, very famous. Use LED lights, energy efficient solar panels, and office equipment with certifications like Energy Star certification. I think last time I have explained you all eco labels and certifications. I have given much more details and how they are applying in these applications. Now I have here and there, I will just mention at relevant places what are the certification or what are the eco labels that they are going to use. Renewable energy projects. Some countries, we also have renewable energy projects. Now you know that areas like water, from water, there are so many private sector people, they have started renewable energy from water energy plants to get some amount of, not much, but some amount of units. Renewable energy projects, installing solar panels, yes. Solar panels also one of the renewable energy source. Or wind turbines, yes, windmill, like these in the picture it's mentioned. For government entities, including factories. Even factories also, you can use it. I think, although I have not mentioned here, when you go on the way, when you see some large factories, aluminum type of air circulation units are always rotating. It's rotating not from the electricity, that is from the wind, right? So there are so many benefits there. You can get the cool air to the factory, and also if you can use it as a dynamo to get some electricity, there is a type of wind turbines. Green electricity contracts. There are some contracts called green electricity contracts. That is, I told you, some people, the private people are having a small units, turbine units in the river areas. They're buying electricity from renewable energy suppliers. Those suppliers, we can give another name, renewable energy suppliers. Renewable energy suppliers. Because they are getting the electricity from water flowing areas. From them, you can buy electricity. Now, for example, in my house, a simple example, not only my house, maybe your houses also, we have fixed solar panels for our electricity. I, of course, fixed little bit high-powered this thing. Therefore, I can use day and night using that solar power without paying any cent to electricity board. There's a small rent, about 150 rupees or something like that. But I sell my excess electricity to the electricity board or a LECO. My place, of course, handled by LECO. I sell. Now, last month I earned about, I saw in the message they have mentioned, I earn about 5,000 rupees. So that means green electricity contracts. The contract itself, it says, if you have in excess electricity, we will buy at 22 rupees a unit. Small amount, but later, I think 1 or 2 days later, before I signed the contract with them, they were paying 38 rupees a unit. But in my case, I missed those dates, and I'm getting only 22 rupees a unit. So there is a green electricity contract I had with LECO. Right. Now another example, some famous examples and famous countries examples also I would like to give you. The European Union, right, mandates energy efficient standards. You know that, eco labels and certifications. For public sector procurement, saving billions of euros. Amounts are given in previous table. I think last time I have given you the table. European countries also, I think I have given you energy savings of euros annually on energy cost. Not only that, we can discuss with some other country or applications also. Now see in India, the closest country to us, India, using solar panels all over the places. High demand. And India government spend a lot of money. They have a mission called Solar Mission. Now, we also have that, what you call Asvasuma, Jana Savia. Some of these missions are there, no? So like that, India, they have Solar Mission. That is the name of their this project. India's Ministry of New and Renewable Energy promotes the procurement of solar panels for government buildings under the Solar Mission project. It's called Solar Mission. What is the impact on that? Reduced dependency on coal-fired power plants. Now, you know, we were talking so many things in Narachole coal-fired power plant. We spend a lot of money. Some time back, you can remember about 2-3 years back, just after COVID, we didn't have enough coal to fire. Then we had to close down Narachole factory. Therefore, the government had to make energy cut for several hours on those days. Over 25% reduction in electricity bills for government offices using rooftop solar. In India, under this scheme, Solar Mission, they have reduced 25%. So that is a big amount in electricity bills for government offices. What amount of government offices are there in India? So many. I don't know, I'll have to find out. So many government offices. In Sri Lanka, of course, 456. So those days, 456 government entities. Ministries, then corporations, then government banks, then this SMEs, SOEs, state-owned enterprises like Bank of Ceylon, like Insurance Corporation, or like CWE, Satose. These days, they talk highly about the coconut and the rice problem. So those with those public entities, we have about 456 sometime back. Now maybe number has been reduced because a lot of ministries amalgamated. So therefore, maybe 2-3 SOEs they have amalgamated into one. Maybe so it will depend on the number will be depend on the activities by the government. So the next one will go to the number 2. Sustainable public procurement in construction and infrastructure. I have just select one picture here related to construction. Now, a lot of constructions and infrastructure projects are there. So, using sustainable public procurement, it can promote sustainable building practices and materials. Building practices, contract practices, and materials. For example, there is a thing called green building standards. Using certification, they have a certification like eco bills. Using certification like not only one, that's why I say like, there are so many eco labels and certifications. So many. So they can use whatever they want. Like in our country, we are using SLS. SLS, Sri Lanka standards, also a certification. Some items selling at the supermarkets or any retail market, you can see SLS mark is there. So like that ISO standards are there. There are so many certifications, right? So they are using leadership in energy and environmental design. That is one of the eco label. For public buildings, if they have that LEED certification for public buildings, it's named as green building because green building standards are there. Eco-friendly materials. Materials also same. Cement, concrete, timber, low emission, less chemical, low emission paints. Paint production, the carbon dioxide emission is very low. And I told you about the timber also. Timber towards that some certification. I explain you under eco label. Sometimes it might put it here also. So using recycled concrete. Recycle mean now concrete. Now I face a problem in concrete. I had to do some the house renovations, and some rooms I have to break those rooms plasters and everything. So a lot of concrete. So there are some places in Sri Lanka also. Those concretes, machinery parts and the iron sometimes. They used to put it in one place and they send it to, sometimes they maybe send it to recycling. But no point, I am reusing that small amount. What I have did is that come to my road, there's a small road. There that the tar is damaged and the concrete is damaged. So very difficult to go by a vehicle, few yards. So I asked those people, we will put these things to those holes. We close down those holes using this. We fill that holes using this using this concretes. But when it is a large amount, you can't do that. Large quantity, you have to recycle. Sustainable timber, you know, I told you all, forest stewards that certification. And low emission paints, you can understand. Energy efficient infrastructure. Infrastructure, sometimes energy efficient. Designing roads, right? Sustainable roads, bridges, and public spaces to minimize environmental impact. Public places to minimize environmental impact. When you construct a bridge, if you are using sustainable procurement activities, you can minimize environmental impact. See one example in Norway. Norway's government mandates the use of low carbon concrete. They have named it as low carbon concrete, right? I think low carbon concrete, according to my knowledge, that is when they manufacturing a cement, they have made so many methods to reduce carbon dioxide emission. That is one. There are so many other things also, right? In public construction projects to reduce emissions. So when you have the cement they use, when they manufacture the cement, if they have minimized the emission of carbon dioxide, so when you have a construction also, you will reduce carbon dioxide emissions. And also I can take another example in Singapore, very famous Singapore, related to sustainable public procurement, not only public sustainable procurement, but here we are talking about mainly sustainable public procurement. Green buildings in Singapore, not only Singapore, I told you all last time, I think. Dubai also, they have green buildings. They have named green buildings. If they have that LEED certification or similar to that certification, construction certification, they can call it green building. Sometimes we also do our roof. Sometimes they paint a green paint. Looks like a green building, but it's actually not a green building. Green buildings are entirely different methodology. In Singapore, you get BCA Green Mark scheme. That's the name of that scheme. I told you that India using one scheme and the Japan using some other scheme, some missions, project name schemes. BCA Green Mark scheme ensures public infrastructure meets green building standards. Now, I don't want to explain you one by one the meaning of these all words and the sentences, because you can understand. What is the impact? Certified buildings reduce energy use by 30%. These green buildings, you just imagine, they will reduce the energy consumption. For a building construction, you need energy, right? Electricity and so many things are there, no? Machinery, lot of things are using electricity, machines and so many other instruments. Certified buildings reduce energy use by 30%. It's a massive amount. See Singapore. Now Singapore, all the buildings are green building now. Dubai also same. So think 30% of savings now. They will increase this percentage very soon. But in Sri Lanka, that is why we don't have a plan. Lack of plan. No plan. We just do it. Like 50 years back, the same system. So there is no savings, only the expenses. We take loan from other countries and we spend unnecessarily. If the government is going to think, this is also good, but that we teach you these things, and we might use these things when you were in the government or when you were in a private sector doing some sort of this infrastructure and the construction. Not only that, other areas also you can see. And there's another impact. Long-term operational cost savings offset higher upfront cost. Normally, sustainable procurement cost, upfront cost is fairly high. I told you in my last lecture also, I have mentioned you, fairly high. Because today also I went to a supermarket. The biodegradable carrot is, I can't remember the price, but normal carrot price is lower than that. So biodegradable vegetables. But people used to buy that. Why? Normal vegetable, they assume that there are a lot of chemicals. Without any control, they are using chemicals. Because our country, always I say, our country, there is no standards for people who do agriculture, grow vegetable. There is no standard in this country. Agriculture officer, maybe regional agriculture or some officer, somebody is go there. He will say, right, mema ganda, that and this, and they don't correctly explain those things. So that is correct. The people are thinking, normal customers are thinking our vegetables are not safe to eat. Even my wife also thinking it's not safe to eat. Therefore, some people laugh at her. Therefore, when she buys some vegetables from the supermarket, say green beans, carrot, leeks, or whatever it is, she used to put soap and wash it. Sabandala tulala hodana. So that is a very good practice. I like it. I agree with her. Because then, if you use soap and clean it, you can remove a lot of chemicals. All these chemicals are water soluble. Therefore, with not only water, but with the soap or Vim or something like that, detergent, you can remove that. It's a very good practice if you also can practice in your house. Not much soap, little bit of it, right? So after all, what is the impact on that? Certified buildings reduced by 30% in Singapore. And long-term operational cost savings offset higher upfront costs. Maybe upfront cost is very high, but in the life cycle of the project, it will offset because of the operational cost is offset because of these savings. This is simple. It is very simple to understand. No, if you put a solar panel on top of your house, there is no expenses. I told you all our place we have put solar panels. Maybe your place also you have put solar panels. Initially, yes, but now it has come down drastically. Initially, I also had to spend fairly big amount. But now I don't pay anything, they will pay me. So that is for about 25 years, you can use these panels. That's guaranteed. Warranty period is 25 years. And other unit is about 10 years guarantee. Inverter, that unit. So we will take, I don't know whether I have the Singapore, I have given you as example. So we'll go to the next area. Sustainable public procurement in transportation. It's very important. Like energy, transportation also very, very important. I think most of the problems I have prepared for my students, the diploma and university students. This transportation. Reduce emissions and promote sustainable mobility. Reduce carbon dioxide emissions, not only carbon dioxide, lead. Now, of course, not much lead emission, and promote sustainable mobility because of less emissions. You can take the application. What are the applications that we are talking? Electric and hybrid vehicles. You know, I'm not going to explain you all. Public transport projects. That also you know. The people, the Yalanka buses or Yalanka passenger transport system. Oh my God, think about armed forces. How many cars and vehicles are going on the road every day, every minute, every hour? If they use, instead of fossil petrol and diesel, they can save half of the budget used in the armed forces. I'm sure police, armed forces, I am sure. Because every time they are on road, mobile. So public transport project, it's very important. Not only that, not only public project. Think about the private transport system, jets, planes, helicopters. My God, such a big amount. I explained you all last time. Therefore, I'm not going to tell you that part again. Low emission fuels. Using biofuels or renewable fuels in public fleets. There is a fuel in public I mean, you can think about biofuels. Now, most of 5-star hotels, I don't know Colombo, maybe Colombo, so they are using, you can't see it. But outside the Colombo, these 4-star, 5-star, 3-star hotels, they have a separate biofuels machinery. 24 hours it's working. They use toilet garbage as well as vegetable, and there are so many food go for a wastage. They use that also, and they make biofuels. And most of the hotel rooms are using electricity from biofuels. Like we use this litrogas and what you call others, laugh gas, like that. They use biofuels. Chile procured electric buses for its public transport system, reducing air pollution, emission, and the operational cost also. Operational cost means later in long run, there is no cost, zero cost for operational matters. We'll see about Chile. Chile procured over 700 electric buses. Here also I have taken Chile. I have taken Chile because Chile, they are using sustainable public procurement in a very big way. Chile procured over 700 electric buses for its Santiago public transport system. The Santiago public transport system in Chile is like our CTB. Like our CTB. Their name is Santiago Public Transport System. A lot of countries, they have their own transport systems. They use 700 electric buses. So the impact is reducing annual emissions by 19,000 metric tons of carbon dioxide, massive amount. 70% savings on fuel cost compared to diesel buses. I told you all, Chile is practicing sustainable public procurement in a very high rate. That is why it says 70% savings of electric buses. Nikam bus එක නිකන් වතුර දාලා දුවනවා වගේ in long run compared to diesel buses. Now all these things you keep in your mind. I always tell you all, just learning these things just to pass the MSc, to get a degree, MSc is not the matter, right? Try to, wherever possible, teach your students, teach your subordinates, teach your top officers. And if you are a big boss, you used to practice these sustainable procurement methods in your ministry or your department. I say that you can become a CAO without any problem, because at the moment I have my students about 4 or 5 students in different ministries. So like that, you might definitely you will become a chief accounting officer in one of the place in future, or a procurement expert to teach other people. The impact of this thing is, I told you all, 70% savings when compared to diesel buses. Number 4, I have taken the major areas: office supplies and IT, mainly education department. But office supplies, of course, it's common for every place. All offices, they are using, no. But now little by little, they are trying to digitize the things, reducing office supplies, paperwork, file covers, and they can store space. Storage space. I told you all, one of my place, I was working as a procurement specialist. Lot of procurement. Maybe I have done about 40-50 procurement per year. So keep those files. I had to keep everywhere. I had to keep a storeroom in Colombo. What a mess! I mean, what a wastage. In Colombo, 1 square feet is about 200 rupees, 300 rupees. So if I am using as a store, at least maybe about 200 feet squares, what amount that we are just wasting. Not only the store space, the racking system, lighting, air condition. Those stores, sometimes they used to put a air condition also, because it's full closed now, those buildings. So such a big amount, utter wastage. So when we are talking about the office supplies and IT, that area applications minimize waste and prioritize energy efficient technologies. Applications, you can say recycle paper and stationery. That is a common theme. Paper recycling, actually from nearly about from 10 years, so 15, 20 years back also we do recycle paper, Valachena paper factory and Ambilipitiya paper factory. Now both are closed because our politicians, what do you call the efficiency of our politicians and our government. Procuring office supplies made from post-consumer waste. Some items are after consume. I mean, you take the box, cardboard box, after consuming, after using or packaging or whatever it is, that type of things we call post-consumer waste. From there, you can recycle the papers. Actually, in Sri Lanka, I don't know whether 100%, that statistics I don't have. Most of the things, statistics are not available in this country, no. That is the major problem in this country. Some people still cannot understand. I will give you a very good example. In 2019 procurement guidelines, actually, maybe 80% of that I wrote these things and I prepared those things. I have introduced a new thing called OCDS, right? I have given some knowledge to my students also, even in the university diploma. I don't know to you all, maybe some of you all was in my classes. As a subject, I taught them OCDS, Open Contracting Data Standards. That is purely to find out data of procurement globally. Even globally, there were no such mechanism to find out data. Therefore, they have introduced one major thing. There are some other few things also, right? Major mechanism called, now, major mechanism is that when we are talking about Facebook, now you get TikTok you have, and there are so many other things also there. But Facebook is very famous. Like that, OCDS is very famous. Open Contracting Data Standards, right? So I have inserted into my procurement guidelines as a separate subject, right? But even in the World Bank procurement, people also couldn't, some of them are not aware. They were asking me, what is this chapter? We cannot understand. It's a new thing for us. I said, yes. It's a very, very recently only started in countries, right? My guideline, chapter 14. I don't know whether you can see it. No, I'll just give it to you all. Chapter 14, Open Contracting Data Standard, OCDS, Introduction. I have given the introduction like this. The Open Contracting Data Standards is a co-product of the Open Contracting Partnership. The objective of the data standard is to support governments to publish contracting data in a more accessible, interoperable, and useful manner, and to enable the widest possible range of stakeholders to use contracting data effectively. If you want to find out contracting data, how many boot projects have done in last year? all over the world, or in America, or in UK. If you have this system, it's a fingertip, just put your pressure button and you can see, you can find out. Now even America, they don't have. They have started OCDS about 4 or 5 years back. I was trying to introduce this in Sri Lanka also, right? Data effectively. So that means the government's useful manner and to enable the widest possible range of stakeholders to use contracting data effectively. The guidelines describes the OCDS presents a high-level approach for each implementation in an e-procurement system. Actually, to operate this OCDS, it's a software, right? You need a EGP portal in the country. If the OCDS is implemented in an e-procurement system, when first introduced by incorporating OCDS within the system itself, the system specification phase must explicitly defines OCDS specific requirements, data field, triggers, reports, visualizers, etc. By adopting the OCDS into the contracting process, the expected benefit are important for key stakeholders. The users may use open contracting data in order to achieve value for money, provide the potential to increase trust and transparency with the public for government. Like that, so many things I have explained in this chapter. In the manual also, I have prepared one separate section for OCDS. Actually, I think that what has happened is the present people who have prepared this thing, all the other guidelines are same from this book. But some people say, not that because I prepared this, I'm not going to say that this is better. But yesterday from the SLIDA, the senior consultant told me, asked for a lecture for their students. He was telling me, sir, he's also one of my students. He was telling, sir, 2019 guideline එක වගේ නෙමෙයි කියලා හැම එක්කෙනාම කියනවා. Even students also, they are talking about that. I just put a laugh and I kept quiet. And he mentioned about this OCDS chapter also. They have removed it from here. I think mainly it's a little bit complex section. Now, OCDS, I have registered myself and I have a number also. They give a code number. I have that my own number. I think in Sri Lanka, what other people, they have this, they registered in this OCDS. I have not heard. But they have removed from these new guidelines. I think nobody could understand what is this section and how to explain, because some people, when people are asking, they will have to give the answers, no? I think when I have the stakeholders meeting, they ask me, and then I have given a special lesson with regard to this OCDS. Anyway, it has been gone some other day also. They might understand and they might come to this this section. Energy efficient electronics purchasing laptops, printers. Thus, of course, I have earlier also explained you low power consumption. That eco label, it's called EPEAT certified. And other application in this office supplies and IT is a famous one is circular economy. I explained you last time. Circular economy is something like recycling practices. Or otherwise, you will have to minimize the wastage. Therefore, that is also called circular procurement or circular economy practices. So you will have to ensure there is a end of life recycling that it will cover from this. Last time I explained you all. In Japan's green purchasing law requires public entities to procure recycled paper. In Japan, nobody can use new papers. All should be recycled papers. If there is a gap only, they can purchase new papers for their public sector. And energy efficient office devices. What is energy efficient office devices? Like laptop, printers, like that. But there is a one section called circular economy. We have used in ICTA. If somebody is aware about this ICTA, not only ICTA, maybe some other places also, they are doing the same thing. But ICTA, I was there about 15 years. We have done, there is no single laptop. This is the Information Communication Technology Agency, all digitized. Every, even in a office assistant also having a laptop, right? Maybe we used about, at a time, about 300, 400 laptops all over the places. When we are talking about the LGN and the other government department also, we have given under LGN project. It's about, I think, I was doing procurement at that time also, but nearly about 5,000 computers, right? 5,000 computers we purchased from Samsung Korea. That is because of the World Bank project, and we have distributed all over the country. But in ICTA office, we were using on rent all these laptops. We have leased it. That is why it's called lease in IT equipment, to ensure end of life recycling. Because end of life, we are send it to the owner of the item. We do only leasing. I told you all, those people sometimes refurbish, and again they will use in their some more years. So that is called circular economy practices. Good example is ICTA. That's what I told you all. All laptops, photocopy machines, servers, everything on lease. Like a vehicle rent a car type of business. It's same type of thing. You don't buy a car, but you rent a car. You don't have any problem of end of the life of that vehicle. Somebody might have that problem, but less problem for others. Again, I will take another example. Yeah, same thing, recycled paper in Japan. What I take it here is that I want to give you some amounts, percentages. Under Japan's green purchasing law, that I want to tell you that also. They have a procurement law. It's called green purchasing law. Sustainable Public Procurement Law, they name as green purchasing law. Maybe some other laws also. There are regulations and acts. I have given one thing. All public institutions must procure paper made from recycled materials. That's what I have explained you all. Impact I want to tell you, 60% reduction in paper waste. 60% reduction. You just imagine. Life cycle cost savings achieved. When you use for life cycle of that procurement, you can save lot of money and lot of other things. Okay, we'll come to the next one. Sustainable public procurement in cleaning and sanitation. Cleaning and sanitation also very large area. You just imagine janitorial services, sanitation, cleaning, right? It's a very large, massive area. These things I told you all a little bit, I have explained you all, but it's okay. Non-toxic or biodegradable products. I told you all that Harpic, the people are using Harpic for toilet commode cleaning and all these things. And tile cleaners, very bad. You'll have to be very careful. You'll have to use. But only thing that you'll have to use the very small amounts. But biograde one also they are now little bit. Bio clean or something like the University of Colombo, they have introduced that. Applications on these areas, green cleaning products, that is understood. Non-toxic, biodegradable cleaning agents. Waste segregation systems, implementing waste sorting bins in public places. You have seen that. I think most of you have gone abroad also for say various things. In Australia, Japan, America, and everywhere you get bins. Water saving equipment using water efficient cleaning technologies. I don't know whether you are available, you are aware about this thing. I will tell you one example. In Australia, some areas water is very scarce. They have a lot of restriction in water using. I mean, you can't use public water like us, tap water to our flowers and the grass and everything. Our people, they do it, no. Especially ladies. Y'all in Naya. But most of the other countries, they don't allow to do it. In our case also same. Our water level in Sri Lanka, people think that for about 100 years only that we can use. After that, there is no water left. In our water table, underground water table, there is no water. Therefore, we will have to use it very carefully. But most of the people, they don't understand. No, I mean, when the tap is broken, it's broken forever. I had a very good example. In my road, there was a damage in the pipeline. So my wife gave a call to those people, water board, 3 times. It took about 1 month. Water is just wasting. So I gave a call to one of the high officer there. I know him. I told him I didn't want to disturb you, but this is what happened with your people. They are say, yes, sir. That's how it's happening. So water efficient cleaning, the example I was trying to tell you all, in Australia, they can't put into the water. They can't use water into flowers and all these things, flower ponds and all these things. If they do the vegetable grow, something like that, they will have to use the special irrigation systems. And they can't wash their vehicles. You know that. I don't know whether you are aware about that. They can't wash their vehicles. If they want to wash the vehicles, they will have to go to the special sheds. I think in Sri Lanka also you get that the spray type of cleaning places. But they are also, they don't use water, they use only the cleaning chemicals. Very soft chemical. They use for a vehicle cleaning. That's a water efficient cleaning technology. That is called water efficient cleaning technology. Green Seal certified. That's again eco-label certification. Green Seal certified cleaning products are widely used in US public schools to ensure safety and sustainability, especially United States public schools, because I mean the students, they are very careful about their students to ensure, that's why it's called to ensure safety and sustainability. I can explain you further in Italy, right? So, oh, no. Where I have just, yeah, cleaning and sanitation in USA. The state of California, I have taken the California example from internet. The state of California mandates the use of Green Seal certified cleaning products in public buildings. Not only schools, right? US in general schools. The impact from that is improved indoor air quality for employees. Toilets okkoma tiyenne now these days inside the buildings. So when you use chemicals, you get that smell. So that is toxic. ඒවා වස අපිට තේරුණා සුවඳ වගේ දැන්නට it's toxic. So if you used those liquid Green Seal certified cleaning products, it's good for a indoor air quality for employees. Otherwise, employees අපිත් එහෙමයි ගෙවල් වල. Clean කරපු දවසට ඒ සුවඳ කියලා කියමුකෝ අපි. Chemical සුවඳ එනවා. අපි හිතනවා සුවඳයි කියලා. It's not සුවඳ. කුරුඳු සුවඳ එනවා. Various these things have been various smells. So 30% less harmful chemicals in the waste stream. So 30% less harmful chemicals. Less harmful amount is 30%. I think it will take another few years to come down to 80% less harmful chemicals production. People are research and development units, they do that. Even in UK, they have a large research and development unit. They are doing all these research. Okay, next one. Pharmaceuticals, very important area again. Healthcare and pharmaceuticals. You will have to ensure safe, ethical manners and sustainable procurement of medical supplies. You know, a few months back, there was a problem and the minister had to go for the jail because of these reasons. Eco-friendly packaging, mainly eco-friendly packaging. The health products, pharmacy products, we have a procurement guideline for separate pharmaceutical projects, separate health products. We have a health separate guideline. Those days we had only two guidelines. One is Good Services and Works guideline, and the other one is pharmaceuticals guideline. I can't find out now. It's a small book guideline for pharmaceutical and health products. We have modified that with our 2019 guidelines, but we couldn't publish still. There we were talking about these all these sustainable procurement methods, especially packaging, because you can't buy a single tablet without a package, without a covering. That's very important. Therefore, the packaging is a special area for a pharmaceutical products. Ethical sourcing, ensuring medical equipment and supplies are ethically sourced. Yes, medical equipment from the production and to usage, it should be ethically sourced items. Low carbon facilities, that is, building energy efficient hospitals and clinic. They say energy efficient hospitals, or they can say energy efficient clinics. I don't know, in Sri Lanka, energy efficient buildings, they have named energy efficient building where? I can't remember. The UK's NHS, now NHS means UK main health service department, National Health Service UK, NHS is very famous. The UK's NHS has implemented procurement guidelines. Yeah, they also have a procurement guideline. We also have a procurement guidelines, right? Actually, my plan was to have information system guideline also. Still, it's not there. Health guidelines there, PPP guidelines there, SPP guidelines there, very old, right? But we don't have an information system guidelines and the electronic government procurement guidelines. There are so many things to do in this country, but not a people. Very few people are interested on that subject. I don't know why. I know, but I can't tell you all. Low carbon facilities, building energy efficiency hospitals, right? UK, NHS, National Hospital Services, National Health Services has implemented procurement guidelines to reduce carbon emission in medical supply chains. We also did something in our pharmaceutical guidelines. You go to the website and just put it. Oh, thanks. I found it. This is the guidelines for pharmaceutical and guidelines for procurement of pharmaceuticals and medical devices 2007. The small book you can see, right? Small book. So we revised this and we have made a new one. Printed everything, but not yet published. It's not a big book. This is about, 40 pages. So, like that, UK NHS has implemented procurement guidelines to reduce carbon emissions in medical supply chains. Here, it's not there. Sustainable health product procurement. But in our draft one, we have introduced that also. Actually, I was very keen to introduce sustainable procurement practices into this country because these are the new things coming up. There, I will explain a little bit more because it's very important thing. Healthcare, sustainable medical supplies in the UK. The UK's National Health Service, NHS, implements Sustainable procurement policies for medical equipment and pharmaceuticals. The impact is estimated annual savings of 400 pounds million. 400 pounds million, you just imagine. For us, it's a very big amount. We are begging IMF people to get 330 million, that part of our loan. But they are saving without any problem 400 million pounds. It's more than 400 million. It's about $500 million dollars. Estimated annual savings, right? Only from NHS, National Health Service. Significant reduction in disposable plastic items. They have reduced single-use plastics. What do you mean by single-use plastics? That is, now everything is disposable, no? We talk heavily. Oh my God, we don't use injection, this thing, in hospital, we like those days, what do you call this? They put in this thing, sterilized injection units, sterilized ones. They don't use in hospital now. All are single-use plastics, disposable syringes everywhere. Mainly that is because of the COVID. You just imagine how many syringes, the disposable syringes, the waste. In Sri Lanka only maybe about, I don't know, maybe about 1,000. I can remember those days. Now I can't remember. Massive amount. So that is called single-use plastics, disposable. In UK, it's called single-use plastic, but other countries also, they can use that. Disposable plastic items. Within bracket, I say single-use plastics. You will have to reduce. And again, you will have to use that, the thing called that, what I call you is now other type of instruments. That is, some other method. In future, not only that steam or this thing method, but some other method, I think they can find. They might be doing research to find out. But in NHS, they don't use much disposable syringes, all sterilized syringes. Sterilization is now, it has come again to the scene. So they use sterilized some units to clean ears and mouth. I think mouth, of course, in Sri Lanka also, we are using the, dentists are using the same sterilized items, equipments and items, because they can't use disposable thing to use their clinics. Sustainable solutions. Now, what are the solutions in these areas? Substitution with bioplastics that I told you all, right? Biodegradable alternatives for non-critical items. If it is a very critical, you can't use sterilized things. Now, I don't suggest that for our the vaccination also use the sterilized syringes rather than using disposable syringes. I don't know. Actually, I'm not expert on that to talk. That is a different area. When they do the research and when they do it in the market, put it into the market. The procurement is our job. So we do that according to the new system. Recycling initiatives. Separate plastic waste for recycling within healthcare facilities. Separate plastic waste for recycling within healthcare facilities. හැමතැනම hospital අයිම්බල ගොඩ ගහලා තියෙන්නේ. Recycling කෙසේ වෙතත්. ඔය දාන waste. එහෙම නැත්නම් බොහෝ විට they put it in the cemetery. They buried in the cemetery. Reusable products. Employ reusable options. Sterilized instruments where feasible, not for the critical items. Huh? I told you where feasible, you can use sterilized instruments. Supply collaboration. Engage suppliers to reduce plastic packaging. That is, we'll have to discuss with the supplier. Plastic packaging you'll have to remove very soon. I don't know what is the packaging that they will have to use. But in case of sustainable procurement, I strongly recommend to remove plastic packaging. They will have to find out some other packaging, not plastic. That is their job. By minimizing single-use plastics and adopting sustainable alternatives, hospitals can reduce their environmental footprint, carbon footprint, you know, without compromising patient care. Next one, sustainable public procurement in food and catering. Promote local, organic, and sustainable food systems. We can say as applications, sustainable food sourcing. Procuring organic fair trade is a eco-label, or locally produced food for public canteens. Now in supermarkets, you get a lot of apples, grapes, pears, and everything. All these things we had maybe about 40, 50 years ago. We had enough pears. I still can remember. At that time, I know, maybe you are also aware, cadeting. I was, one time I was a cadeting sergeant. Maybe that is why I can I can talk very clearly and loudly. So when we went to this place, the Diatalawa camp, those days, every year I used to go junior cadeting and senior cadeting. There was a suitcase. We will have to use a suitcase to go to the camp to bring our items. So when we are coming back, all the suitcases are full with pears. You know, the price is the big pears is about 5 cents at that time, or 10 cents. At that time, everything is something like that, no? Dollar is about 12 rupees. Before our time, maybe about 2 rupees. Dollar is about 1 rupee. So like that. 1 rupee is equal to 1 yen. Now 1 yen is about 400 rupees. So that is the scenario now. So sustainable food sourcing is procuring organic, fair trade. Fair trade is a certification. Locally produced food for public canteens. They can do. Even still our people can do. I mean, 5-star hotel, they can keep all apple, grapes, and pears, everything. If you like, if you very much like to give your son or daughter to bunch of the 1 or 2 unit of apple or bunch of grapes, that is all right. I also do that. Very rarely, not frequently, in any case. Minimizing food waste. Introducing composition of waste reduction practices. Waste reduction practices. Food waste. In my university students, I'm having one full lecture for the sustainable procurement food waste. I will give you one example. I don't know whether we have enough time. Yes, I have to go fast. Now, when we are going to especially for the wedding in 5-star hotel, I'm looking for the people who serve their plate, and after using that, still that plate, all foods are there. Maybe not even half the people are eating. But in that buffet, they used to get more and more. I have not seen any single person is having an empty plate. You just check when you go to next time in a wedding, 5-star hotel wedding, what a wastage that they have. Okay. Reusable containers, replacing single-use plastics with biodegradable or reusable options. Now, those days we use, you and me, everybody use the ceramics plates. But now, when we went the trip also those days, we used to take a small ceramic plates. But now these days, everywhere, reusable, not the reusable, sorry. I mean, what do you get? This, wait a minute. Single-use items, cardboard plates, plastic plates. Now, little by little, it's going to reduce, but still there. Mainly other countries, some of the other countries, they don't use. Italy, school meal programs mandate the use of organic and locally sourced ingredients. Organic and locally sourced ingredients. Now you go to the, I don't know whether maybe you are going, some of you all, going to Montessori to send your child, or ask your child, what are the other students bought for snack? Half of apple, or 1 fruit apple, grapes, pears, because it's easy for mothers and fathers. So, but it's a criminal actually. You are using to your children, you are giving your children this fast food or imported fruits. Now, again, I will give you some example in Italy. Italian municipalities are required to use organic, locally sourced ingredients in school meals. Yeah, that is in school meals. The impact I would like to give you, boosted local agriculture by 15%. If these people are using for school the local product, local agriculture will go up by 15%. Improved health outcomes for children consuming healthier foods. Children will be very healthy. Other one, waste management. Reduce waste generation and promote recycling. Some of the places I saw in that some supermarket, and just front of the supermarket, they have the netting boxes The people can put their plastic bottles like this. Foreign countries, of course, it's very useful to them, and they are very common thing that they are using that. But ours also we try to do that. So, but some places they have removed those boxes. Whatever the reason, I don't know. Recycling program, procurement of system of effective waste segregation and recycling, composition, acquiring composition solutions for organic waste management, circular economy products, prioritizing products designed for reuse or recycling. Example given, Sweden procures waste management services that promote near zero landfill contributions, focusing on recycling and energy recovery. They have a system, they have a scheme in Sweden. They say that they have a zero landfill contributions for waste. So that means there's nothing to put underground. Everything is recycling. So they have put a name called zero landfill contribution, the scheme name. Again, we'll take Netherlands. Here, Italy, I have take Sweden, Netherlands, what do you call that? Those are the European, not European countries, MARC countries. The Netherlands prioritize procurement of products designed for reuse or recycling, such as office furniture and electronics. Impact, the people in all these countries are using the same things, but some countries, they have a special attention. That's why we have put it here. Impact, 70% of waste diverted from landfills. When other days, they will put in the land, under land they have put it, but now 70% diverted from landfills. You can understand, life sky cost. Reductions of up to 20% of refurbished products. Another one, textiles and uniforms. It's also a fairly large amount, uniform. Police, army, even prison, schools, everywhere is in uniform. So ensure eco-friendly and ethical sourcing. Sustainable fabrics. When they made the fabric, they made it under sustainable conditions. Procuring uniforms made from organic cotton or recycled fibers. Fair trade practices. Recycled fibers is that what do you call that? I told you last time. Fair trade practices, ensuring ethical labor practices in textile supply chain. It's very important. Some of the supermarkets closed down by the UK government because they are not using labor practices in textile supply chain, ensuring ethical labor practices. They use what do you call the people who are having different type of inabilities. They use for their fabric manufacturing, giving very low labor charges. Therefore, UK government has, it is in Pakistan, they have taken from Pakistan. They have stopped their supermarkets and they asked them to close down those supermarkets. I also used to go there because very cheap their prices. Bags, leather bags and shirts, very cheap, but we don't. I didn't know at that time something is happening like this. Durable clothing, selecting products with extended lifespan to reduce waste. Now, actually, we don't do that. Maybe everybody is having about 10, 15 shirts. But no need to have such a huge stock of textile material, textile shirts and trousers. In that case, of course, I am also very poor in that case because I have a lot of shirts and trousers. I like it. But now, if I go to the shop, I think twice. When my wife was asking, why don't you buy a shirt to go to that wedding? I said, no, I have enough shirts. I can clean one shirt and I can wear. But those days, of course, yes, I used to buy a lot of shirts and trousers. Example, the Dutch government procures fair trade and recycled fabrics for its police and military uniforms. In Sri Lanka also we can do that. If we have those days, we had that. I mean, it is not a big thing. I mean, that Pesha Karma, right? Handmade items are there. Those days, lot of, in our places everywhere, lot of factories. We use all fabrics from them. Bed sheets, sarong, then a lot of cotton items we purchase from them. Fair trade police uniforms in Sweden. Sweden also do that. Reduce environmental footprint of textile production, ensure ethical labor practices in supply chains, right? The last one is, I have taken last one. There are so many other things also, but within 2 hours, I'll have to stop that. In education and public awareness, promote knowledge and practices of sustainability. Applications, green schools. Some countries, Canada, they have a schools called green schools. Such a nice thing. Procuring energy efficient lighting, furniture, and renewable energy systems for school. Whole school, mainly Canada is using the primary school, Montessori and up to grade 5. Those schools, there is no electricity coming from solar panels. There is no desk and chairs used by normal manufacturing. It's all renewable, recycled timber. We discussed these things, right? And schools, books and pens and everything. Pens are not plastic pens. I have few items. I'm also try to get that, but it's not here. I can't find it. That I have a pen. I'm using a pencil. That is not from the tree. This thing. It's a paper roll. This thing. It's a manufactured some other country. Oh, in Sri Lanka. It's really nice. And I don't know whether you can see that. I have a wooden USB, wooden USB. USB part, of course, metal, but its handle is USB. Sorry, the handle is wooden. There are also another USB, but it is metal finish. That is the normal one, metal finish USBs. But you can get the wooden finish USBs also. One is something like this. It's an Indian made one. I have a pencil, it's not here. Maybe somebody has taken from this thing. Yeah. So that is Canada schools. Educational materials using sustainable and ethical printing for textbooks and educational resources. You must be thinking, how printing? Ethical and environmental free. Yes, printing, they are using paint, lot of paints. Paint can make out of biodegradable items. but the price will be high. That is the standard theory. Sustainable procurement or sustainable service, upfront price is higher than plastic or normal or other made items. But in a long run, cost is less. Not only life cycle cost is less. Health-wise, see, our children, health-wise, it's a big help. Canada incorporates sustainable procurement into school, infrastructure projects, and reducing life cycle cost. You can reduce the cost. Don't think about cost. We will have to come one day. We'll have to make it in our country one day like that. In Canada builds schools with energy efficient designs and use sustainable teaching materials. I don't want to explain everything now. Impact, 35% reduction in energy use in green schools. 35% reduction, especially in German green schools, maybe about 40 to 45% if I'm correct. They have a lot of energy reduction on this green school project, green school scheme. Increase awareness among students. Students also get to know something like, why green school? My school is not green color, but it's called green school. Why? Then little by little, from the Montessori itself, they will use to that green. Green means not the green color. Green schools, green tubes, green pens, green papers. Normally environmental thing we call green. Green buildings, like that. Then අපේ ළමයි දන්නේ නැහැ green school කිව්වට විදිහට අපේ ළමයි green school කියන එක they don't know. But other countries students are aware about green schools, green buildings, green papers. They are aware. Energy savings. Now here in schools they say to the they have a in school teacher end of the month he or she says to the students, now this month your classroom energy usage is 5 units. No fuel, diesel, petrol, those things we have not used. That 5 unit came from solar panel. Environmental free solar panel, no wastage, no carbon footprint, no carbon emission, nothing. Every month, end of the day, teacher in charge of the class, especially in Germany, other countries also, European countries, they have started. They explain. You just imagine our school, our Montessori. Have teacher think about that. No, teacher හිතන්න දෙයක් නැහැ. එහෙම එකක් නැහැ නේ ලංකාවේ. Green school, green classrooms කියලා જાතිය. So students also, they don't know. අපේ වගේ තමයි. Light switch එක දැම්ම ගියා. කොච්චර මේකට wastage ගියා, ලෝකෙටම කොච්චර wastage ගියද කියලා they don't think. But little by little you'll have to think these things. I was telling to your MSc people who are involved with that, this sustainable public procurement and PPP, public-private partnerships. Those are mandatory items for a new MScs and the PhDs. Electronic government procurement, framework agreement, OCDS, already removed from the guidelines because of their, their lack of knowledge of that subject. Lack of knowledge දී අපේ මිනිස්සු කරන දෙයක් නේ ඔක. ඉගෙන ගන්න බලන්නේ නැහැ. කවුරු ආවොත් උත්තර දෙන්න බැරි නම් ඒක එතනින් අයින් කරලා දානවා. That is the system. So these things, why I asked them why you have made it as a what do you call this? What is called that? It's a what subject? It's called. What is the subject now? You can select those subjects. Optional subjects. Why do you make it optional subject? Those areas. It's very important. Sri Lanka future is PPP. When you are talking about future infrastructure development or the investment, PPP is the best. PP is the most important thing. Other than that, no way, no life to the country. And sustainable public procurement. You saw that, no? From this application and examples, you got a very good knowledge, right? Then at last, I will explain you a summary of this thing across these applications. SPP leads to global summary. Financial savings, long-term life cycle cost reduction of 10 to 30%. Because I have taken only these three because these are the major items. No? Financial cost, financial, environmental, and social. Environmental gains, substantial reduction in carbon emission. Carbon emission මේ විදිහටම ගියොත් ලෝකේ ඉතාමත්ම ළඟදී විනාශලා යන්න පුළුවන්. It's coming up because of damage to the ozone layer in the sun. Carbon dioxide is a major thing to destroy ozone layer. High heat is coming to the earth. Because of that, ice liquefied, the sea goes up and the land will come smaller, and there's a big issue on that subject. It will happen. If the global goes like this, it will happen definitely. අර අපි ඉස්සර කියන්නේ කතෝලික ආගමේ කියන ලෝකාන්තිම වෙනවා. දෙවියන් වහන්සේ කරනවා. බුද්ධ ආගමෙත් කියන ලෝකයේ කියන එක විනාශ වෙලා යනවා. Yes, that is correct. Not because of those examples, but it's happening because of the sustainability. Social benefits, promotion of fair trade and ethical labor practices, improving livelihoods globally. It's very important. Social benefits. You know that those days, not able person can't go to the supermarket because of the staircases. Somebody will have to help him. But now, of course, most of the places, they have not the stairways, but they have a slope. So they can use it. Right. We have a few minutes more. Do you have any questions? Daminda, do you have any question?
In ancient time in Sri Lanka, we have the sustainable public procurement, no? Ancient time.
Yes.
Again, we are going to the ancient times, no?
No. Don't mix with that situation. It's that one example that I was taking as a syringe. I know that you are not talking about my lecture, but you just thinking that we are going to ancient time. Sometimes it can happen. I don't say no. It can happen. Because one fine day there won't be any fast foods. right? Because already we find that fast foods are not a good healthy food. Very soon, chicken production will be zero. They made chicken in the lab. I have seen about 10 years back when Singapore is doing the research in that laboratory, making artificial chicken. Now, I mean, in Sri Lanka, you have ate enough now, artificial chicken, artificial egg, artificial omelette, not artificial egg, sorry, artificial omelets. All these fast food places, they don't use any single egg, all artificial eggs. Broiler the chicken, very soon it will be off from this global, from this earth. Already they have started artificial production, like genetically modified vegetable, genetically modified fruits are there. They will do it, but it is not harmful to your life. Now, artificial chicken is not like a normal chicken, but I think health-wise, there is no harm in that. The benefits also there. Artificial chicken, the bacterial density is very low. There cannot be bacterial inside is very low, because inside the lab they produce artificial chicken. So we can't say ancient time, but yes, now people used to eat more and more vegetable and fruits, not like those days. Health-wise, they think that it's good. Therefore, doctors advise them to use. Doctors say that the pressure, cholesterol, diabetes are because of the food that you are using. Therefore, not only that, you know whether it's correct or not, true or false, the Ayurvedic items are selling very fast now. Ancient time, they use only Ayurvedic drugs. Sometime later, when we were small, right? It was not in the market. We don't know anything about Ayurvedic drugs, because by that time, every person has moved to Western pharmaceuticals, Western drugs, Western medicines, and they just forget that Ayurvedic medicine. But now they have come up to that level again. So it's a very arguable thing, but you will have to do it. Whether you like it or not, you'll have to do it. Now, some good things also there. Now, the people who are going for the space, some the space trips and all these things, they don't eat the food like us, rice, noodles, or vegetable or something, and only a small tablet. It's very common. Armed forces, they went for the, they went, even Sri Lanka, they went for a war activities. Most of the time they use some vitamin tablets and that type of thing, not 100%, but 100% usage also they are spaced to us. It will come. So there can be a lot of changes in the world and the environment. Otherwise, you can't go like that. You can't. There won't be no oxygen. Artaw kaudo kiwa oxygen. Another oxygen. මොනවද වාක්‍යයක් කියවනේ කවුරු ඒ පොලිටිෂියන් නේ ඔක්සිජන් තිබිලා ඛණ්ඩය හරි මොකක් හරි එකක් ඔය පුත්තලම් පැත්තේ MP කෙනෙක් මං අහගෙන ඔය පේපර්ස් වල එහෙම ගියේ කාලේ අර මොකද්ද ගහක අර වල් කදුරු ගස්ත කද්ද කුඩුළු ගස් කතාවකදී ඔය ගියේ කතාව ඔක්සිජන් කණ්ඩ නෙමෙයි ඔක්සිජන් නැතුව ගියාම කණ්ඩ කටකුත් නැති වෙනවා. එයා ඒක දන්නේ නැති වුණාට. එයාගේ ළමයි ඉන්ටර්නෙට් නැති වෙනවා එයාට ඉස්සර වෙලා. Any more questions?
So this Japanese green purchasing law, can
Yeah.
it be introduced to Sri Lanka, sir?
Ayyo, there are so many countries, they have act and law and regulations. They can use those things without any problem. Our people are not doing that. No, that is the problem. No, they don't read. I don't know the internet. How are they going to use the internet? They are using for something else. I have seen some article or some book or paper article. Our people are in internet using for the sex matters. Maybe number 3 in the world. Number of people using, number of time or number of hours or using per head consumption of the internet is for the sexual matters, not for the reading, not for education. So that is the level of our country. You are asking Japanese this law, SSP law. Our people, they don't want to, I mean, they don't want to do it. One fine day, they will do it. I don't say, I'm not negative, my thinking, I'm very positive. But I am very doubtful how, I think now because of now the new government came, hope so. We will keep our hopes. If they do it, it's good for the country, not for the political party or somebody else. It's good for the country if they can. Now, we are teaching you all some good things. We don't teach you bad things. We might get example bad things and we try to avoid. In your children, you, your teachers, your children teachers, you to your children, you're always trying to save everything, safeguard their health, their country. අර කියන්නේ ජාත්‍යාලය මොනවද තියෙනවයි කියලා ඒවා නමට විතරයි උඟක් අයගේ තියෙන්නේ. නිකන් වචනට විතරයි. But one fine day, but I am saying that this is mandatory. This is must. You will have to do all these things. Environment, social, financial, sustainability has to be there. Otherwise, no life. No life for your children or children's children. Another 3, 4, 5 generations. There is no life. Anyway, most of the countries, they do little by little, not little, they do in a very high you saw these statistics now. Very successfully they do that, they practice that. Okay, what else? I must give you a chance to ask you questions.
Thank you, sir.
That's all. Okay then. Okay, thank you. I'm just asking you whether my explanation, can you understand?
Yes, sir. We could.
Yeah. If you cannot understand, you can write to me and ask wherever the place that you have a difficulty. Not only this procurement, any subject in procurement. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, students.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Good night.
Okay, good night. Good night. Okay, good night. Your face is very familiar. You are Dr. Rukmal? No. Niluka? Are you a doctor? You can't hear, no? I have stopped that.